Welcome to this video. This is Nelson, and this YouTube channel is T Nelson Pharma UG. So my subscribers have always asked me about the sourcing of drugs, because in the previous video we learned about how to make a pharmacy, and we said the steps are not so much different from how we make drug shops. So they have always asked me about how these drugs are acquired, and some have always asked about how drugs move from the industries where they are made up to when they reach the final consumer or the client or the patient. So in this video we are going to look at pharmaceutical supply chain, but we are going to look at the sketch of it because it is a very broad term and we can't exhaust it in one video. So depending on the requests you put in the comment section, we shall be looking at one topic each as you request for them. So this time around, first subscribe. Just click on that button of subscribe. You can share the video to a colleague. You can share the video to a friend, so as they can also benefit. Wisdom is not is supposed to be shared. Sorry, knowledge is supposed to be shared. The more you share your knowledge, the more you become knowledgeable, because you keep learning one thing at a time. As you're sharing knowledge, you can make mistakes and you are corrected by those who know better. So today we're going to limit ourselves to the pharmaceutical supply chain, and we are mainly going to look at those critical points where drugs move to from one point to another. Then we said other things are going to come later as you people request for them. So as we start, drugs as you see them, for example, Panadol or ibuprofen or indomethacin, some of you call Indoseed, they are made by pharmaceutical companies, but before they are made, research is made to identify those molecules that they really do work. So after when they are made, after when research is made and they are identified or discovered, so there is mass production, and this is done at industrial level. So we are going to look at industries, pharmaceutical industries. So these pharmaceutical industries, it is also a broad topic, but what you need to know is that there are a lot of processes that take place. Most of the important processes is the GMP or the CGMP, current good manufacturing practices. These ensure that quality is built in the product rather than testing the quality in the product at the end. So there are very many practices which are under current good manufacturing practices that ensure that products or drugs are made and they are safe for human use from industries. There are very many industries across the globe. India has got very many. It has got Zydus Cadila. It has got Royal Pharma. No, I think this is an import company. So it has got many. There are others called like MSN. There are others in Germany, other industries in UK, there are industries in Turkey, there are industries in England, there are industries in USA, there are industries in South Africa, there are industries in Uganda, and of course Uganda also has many. So industries are everywhere. So drugs in industry, these industries always receive raw materials from other industries which make raw materials. So for example, if you can take an example of maybe Cipla, Pharma Uganda, quality chemicals Cipla in Uganda, it receives its raw materials from outside, it imports the raw materials, then it starts its production. Most of the industries, pharmaceutical industries, always import or they buy their raw materials and make different products. Like we said, paracetamol or Panadol, ibuprofen. And thereafter, when they manufacture their drugs, for example, if a drug is to be imported from India, from a certain company in India, and it's supposed to come to Uganda, there is a very vigorous process that you have to go through if you are importing it. One, you must be a local technical representative for a given product. Let's say a given brand of paracetamol or a given brand of ibuprofen from India. So local technical representative means you are the only person in a given country that is legally allowed to import that product. So it is also a very long process how to become a local technical representative, as we shall be seeing in the preceding videos. So this local technical representative, it is always a company. So it is that company that is only allowed to import a given brand of a given item. We have given an example of, let's say, ibuprofen from India. So if it is, let's say, you can give it any name, but it is that specific brand from India and it is to come, let's say, to Uganda. So it is only this specific company that we have called the local technical representative that is allowed to import it from India to Uganda. So this local technical representative can import it on behalf of a wholesaler. This wholesaler can be a pharmacy, that is wholesale pharmacy, or it can be an institution. For example, we can give an example of JMS, can give an example of Medical Access Uganda Limited, Maul. Therefore, we have seen that it moves from industry to wholesale. So now we have reached the industry. Let's go to wholesalers. So these wholesalers, as we have mentioned, they can be private companies. So when these drugs leave industries through local technical representatives, they reach to these wholesale centers or wholesale institutions, like we mentioned. So then it is the retail pharmacies that go to buy to these from these wholesalers. We said this can be a pharmacy as a wholesale. It can be an institution, just like we said. So these institutions or wholesalers always have very many items. You can find, like For example, we can give an example of Royal Pharma Uganda Limited. We can give an example of maybe like Camcare. We can give an example maybe Midworld. We can give an example of maybe like Biogen. So it does not only have one item, they always have a variety of items, and they may not necessarily be the local technical representatives that bring these items in Uganda, but they can as well buy from other wholesalers, but you find that they always have the items they import themselves. So when they buy from industries or they buy from other wholesalers or other local technical representatives, for example, a wholesale pharmacy can go to JMS and buy drugs, or a retail pharmacy can go to JMS and buy drugs. It depends on the capacity of the wholesaler. If they can import maybe 90% of the items, or if these items are locally manufactured from here, or it all goes to their own capacity. So now from wholesale, that's where you go to these other distribution points, where we have retail pharmacies, we have medical centers, we have clinics, we have drug shops. So all these ones are supposed to get from wholesale pharmacies. But of course, according to the regulatory body for the case of Uganda, which is the National Drug Authority, there are always classes of drugs that are allowed in different final distribution points, like pharmacies. For example, retail pharmacies are allowed to sell all the classes of medicines. However, drug shops are allowed to sell a limited few classes of drugs. For example, class C of drugs and exempted drugs items. So from these retail pharmacies, clinics, drug shops, that's where the final consumer goes to buy. On the other hand, there is what we call a special import. So this special import, it can be made by an individual who is maybe like a doctor or a pharmacist or a company, as long as there is need of that specific drug in the country. But this need is always is most of the time is tailored to maybe if there is a specific person who needs a given drug that is not registered in the country, for example Uganda, so they can make a special import. Or if there is a crisis in the country and they have got to import that drug and the drug is not on the register of drugs of the country, so they can make a special import. We can as well look at the process of how we make a special import in some of the other videos that we shall be making, as depending on your requests. Then there is also importation of donations. It is also another way drugs can get into a country. So these donations, most of the times, they are always as a result of the need for the population. If there is a need for the population and there is a country or there is an organization which wants to donate, depending on the need of a given society in a country, they can donate. But there is also a process that involves the authority that regulates drugs, and that is the National Drug Authority for the case of Uganda. So another thing that we can look at in this is that there is no drug that is supposed to enter a country that is not known or that is not on the register of that given country. For example, this Uganda, the national drugs list. It has to be known. If it is not there, then it has to go to under the other category we mentioned as special import. Special import, it may be on the list or it may not be on the list, but everything to do with the drugs, the authority that regulates drugs must be notified. Maybe to add something, in Uganda there are very many local manufacturing industries that are here. Some of them we have like Cipla Quality Chemicals. We have like Abacus here, well known for making parenterals. Yeah, we have like Rene, we have like KPI, we have like Save. Very many pharmaceutical companies around, and they are making so good drugs and they are boosting the country. So for the wholesalers, they can as well go there and buy. So these local pharmaceutical companies can as well go, get their local technical representatives. Like you find they are supplying only one wholesaler, then who distributes to other wholesale entities. For any other question, kindly put it in the comment section. I'll find it there and I will be replying. Concerning supply chain or pharmaceutical supply chain, you can comment on what we should talk after this. There are very many challenges that we can talk about the pharmaceutical supply chain. There are very many dynamics that we can talk about the pharmaceutical supply chain. So comment down in the section. Summary: drugs research is done, drugs are discovered, drug molecules are discovered, raw materials are made, industries buy these raw materials and they manufacture drugs. They can name them. Then after manufacturing them in the industry, other institutions like wholesalers go buy them through local technical representatives. We said amongst those who can buy them can be government or it can be private institutions. Then from these wholesalers, they can distribute amongst themselves. Then from these wholesalers, pharmacies, retail pharmacies, go buy from wholesale pharmacies or from these institutions. All these institutions distribute to government or other private institutions like medical centers, drug shops, clinics. Then from there, the final consumer, who is the patient or the client, receives these items. So that's how drugs move from the time they are made to the time they reach the final consumer. Stay blessed. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos of the same.